Hello and welcome back to my channel. There is news that Finland wants to join NATO. Sweden has also expressed its intention for the membership of NATO. Today in this video, we will discuss why Finland wants to join NATO, what it means for Russia, and what are the implications. Finland has been neutral since the end of the Second World War, after it was invaded by the Soviet Union. In the World War II, Finland was fighting Soviet Union. Soviet Union invaded Finland. After 3 months, Finland was forced to cede 10% of its territory and had to strike a deal with erstwhile USSR, which needed it to pay reparations and crack down on those who most fiercely opposed Moscow. After World War II in 1945, Western Europe was economically exhausted and militarily weak, and there were newly powerful Communist Party expanded their reach in France and Italy. On the other hand, the Soviet Union had emerged from the war with its armies dominating all the states of Central and Eastern Europe. By 1948, communists under Moscow's sponsorship had consolidated their control of the governments of those countries and suppressed all non-communist political activity. To counter communist expansion, NATO was established. NATO is a military alliance established by the North Atlantic Treaty, also called the Washington Treaty of April 4, 1949. NATO ensures that the security of its European member countries is inseparably linked to that of its North American member countries. However, the member countries have to commit to democracy, individual liberty, and the rule of law, as well as to the peaceful resolution of disputes. There is an important article under NATO, that is Article 5. Article 5 was a key part of the 1949 North Atlantic Treaty or Washington Treaty and was meant to offer a collective defense against a potential invasion of Western Europe. However, since then it has only been invoked once, soon after the 9/11 attack in the United States. Finland remained neutral during the Cold War era and followed the non-alignment. It joined the European Union in 1995, but militarily it remained independent, as it did not want to be seen opposing the USSR and later Russia. But since the invasion of Ukraine, Finland is among a number of countries that have been forced to rethink their relationship with Russia. Finnish Parliament's Defense Committee said on Tuesday that joining NATO is the best option for Finland to guarantee its national security. Now, what are the implications? Finland shares the 1300-kilometer, 810-mile border with neighboring Russia. And this border is very hard to defend against an aggressive attack from the east. Sweden is also considering joining NATO. If Finland and Sweden join NATO, Russia would find itself completely surrounded by NATO countries in the Baltic Sea and the Arctic. What does it mean for Russia? Putin invaded Ukraine using the fear of eastward expansion of NATO, Ukraine trying to join NATO. It will not be a happy situation for Russia. Russia has already warned of political and military repercussions if the Finns or the Swedes decide to join NATO. Vladimir Putin, in his speech on the day Ukraine was invaded, said, "A military presence in territories bordering Russia, if we permit it to go ahead, will create an ever-mounting and totally unacceptable threat to Russia." What would a membership mean, and will it benefit NATO as well? NATO has shown eagerness about Finland and Sweden's membership. Usually, becoming an official NATO member can take up to a year, as it requires the approval of all existing member states. Finland's geographical location plays in its favor, as once it becomes a member, the length of borders Russia share with NATO would double. This would also strengthen the alliance's position in the Baltic Sea. Russia's foreign ministry has said that they will be forced to take military steps if the membership materializes. Russia has warned that this may prompt Moscow to deploy nuclear weapons in Kaliningrad. However, analysts say military action against the Nordic countries appears unlikely, considering how involved Russian forces are in Ukraine. Experts in Finland believe that more likely it would be Moscow moving weapon system closer to Finland, disinformation campaigns, cyber attacks, economic counter moves, and steering migration toward the Russian-Finnish border, similar to what happened on Poland's frontier with Belarus last year. So they do not believe that Russia would directly attack the Nordic countries, Finland or Sweden.